Good morning, everyone. Happy Monday morning to you. Good morning, Rodney. And good
Hey, good
morning to our
morning.
guest. Rodney, introduce our guest.
Well, we have a wonderful guest with us. He's a dear brother. Actually, I attend a wonderful church here in Southern California. That's right there, Mission Church of Santa Clarita. He's a dear church brother, and his name is Richard Mays. And Richard May, he is a great guy. He's been involved in a lot of wonderful things here in the community, educator, curator, and there is currently a very incredible exhibit that's going to be going on here in Los Angeles. And he's been a part of some really cool things. And it's all about education, uplifting, inspiring people. And we're very excited to bring to the chat session Mr. Richard Mays. Thank you, sir, for being on with us this morning.
Thank you. I'm glad to be here.
Welcome to the chat session, Richard. We're really glad that you're here today. Thank you so much for coming. And welcome to all of you who are coming in the comments. We're so glad to see you this Monday morning, too. You're watching the chat session on the This Way Network. And I'm Nina, your host, and there's Rodney, my co-host. As Rodney just said, we have Richard May with us this morning. And I can't wait to hear a little more about, Rodney sent me some information about this exhibit that you've curated, but I'd love to hear more about it from you.
Okay, well, about 5 years ago, I was reading about the story of Emmett Till and his murder, and it just really what happened, and just how a 14-year-old African-American male from Chicago was visiting his relatives in Mississippi, and he was accused by a white female worker behind the counter of saying something that was inappropriate. And just the climate, very shameful part of history, the climate of race relations in Mississippi, where her husband and his brother-in-law had believed the accusation she had towards young Emmett Till, a 14-year-old young teenager. And they showed up at the relative's house that Till was visiting, and they demanded to see the young boy, and they threatened his relative's life, saying, we need to take him. And so they took Emmett Till, beat him, shot him in the head, and they threw him with a 75-pound cotton gin fan around his neck in a river in Mississippi. And a couple of days later, he was found in the river, and his mother recognized him only by the ring on his finger from his father, because his face was so grotesque and it just pushed in and just horrible. And it showed the face of racism, a horrible way to view another human being. And so the mother insisted on an open casket funeral. And that image was aired in Jet magazine. And the two men, Carolyn Bryant's husband and his brother-in-law, they faced a trial in Mississippi. And most Emmett Till's relative identified the two men, and they walked away being found by the jury as not guilty. So that event was one of the sparks of the civil rights movement in the South, how it began, among many sparks. So this show, I had contacted 11 artists, and I asked them, in their own style, in their own creative process, create artwork that would really speak to this incident in history not just the murder of Emmett Till, but the courage of his mother, Mamie Till Mobley, who insisted on
Mhm.
an open casket funeral where thousands of folk saw
Mhm.
what was done to her son. And these artists they are absolutely breathtaking in how they create work.
Wow.
Some of the work is representational,
Mhm.
showing a portrait of Emmett Till and his mother. Some of the artists work in a very abstract way, uh,
Mhm.
and some of the artists work in a assemblage way,
Hmm.
where it's three dimensional, where you gather objects and you assemble them to create a piece of work.
Wow.
And one of the artists works with text, where you actually read what's on the surface,
Mhm.
Mhm.
and it's just a collection of just amazing work. And I am grateful for Liz Gordon, the gallery owner, uh,
Mhm.
who allowed me to curate this show. And we had an amazing artist talk
Mhm.
last month on February 28th,
Mm.
where the artists came and they spoke about their work. And I was able to moderate it, guide the discussion along.
Wow.
And we're going to have another artist talk
Mhm.
this coming Saturday,
Mhm.
March the
Mhm.
14th, from 2 until 4 p.m., where the
Yep.
artists are going to gather again. And because it's Women's History Month, the
Yeah.
focus is going to be on Emmett Till's mom,
Mhm.
mom,
Mhm.
It's a very
because
different look. Wow.
because to lose her only child, at age 14, was a tragedy. But she insisted on letting the world see what was done to her son.
Mhm.
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 So I'm excited about this exhibition, and it's going to be one where it's the beginning of some things I'm going to be doing here in Southern
Mhm.
California. And
Yeah.
yeah, so that's
Well,
my
So
yes,
go ahead. Go ahead, Nina.
I
yes.
was just I wanted to add a little bit to the
Mhm.
story so people have the full view of things. The men who were tried and acquitted by an all white
Mhm.
jury,
Hmm.
Mm.
even after they had been identified by several witnesses, after the um, trial was over and they could not be tried again, then they
Hmm.
confessed to what they had done
Hmm.
and even sold the story to a magazine for about
Hmm.
$4,000. So it's unequivocal whether or
Mhm.
not they were guilty.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's right. That's
So
right.
his mother um, insisting on an open casket so that the whole world could see what was done to
Hmm.
her
Yeah.
son is a
Yes.
very brave move. Now,
Hmm.
this happened in
Mhm.
Chicago. I mean, the funeral happened in Chicago. I'm sure the climate was a little bit different. Nonetheless, it was still a very brave move for her to do this.
Mhm.
Yes,
How
it
much
was.
impact do you think, Richard, that um, Emmett's murder and the subsequent funeral, what the whole world was able to see had happened to him? How much impact do you think that had on the civil rights movement back in the 50s?
Well, in my opinion, it was a visual history lesson,
Hmm.
Mhm.
because these kinds of things, it was no secret that race relations were horrible, and so
Mhm.
these things were going on all the time. But to
Mhm.
have it broadcast like that really told the world uh, what this world was like. And
Mhm.
the sad part about it is that Carolyn Bryant, lived a long life, and
Mhm.
in 2007,
Yeah.
2008, she was interviewed and she confessed that she lied. She lied.
Yeah.
So this type of an event, among many sparks, really galvanized Black folk
Hmm.
in a time where there was no social media back then. There was no YouTube, there was no internet. And so to really mobilize and protest and speak out, and to have that actually develop into other types of areas of protest, to have that movement, civil rights movement, be transformed into a Black Power movement, where Black folk were becoming more assertive, and to have that actually evolve into a Black arts movement where artists and writers and poets and playwrights were trying to find ways to really use their creative process to address what was going on. It's an amazing historical event that still has ramifications for today, which is why I did this exhibition, and why, if it wasn't for the artists, it wouldn't be a show. So I'm so grateful that the artists, chose to say, you know what, I want to be a part of this. I want to really use my creative talent to tap into an event that was very shameful in American history, and to really express, my thoughts about it in a creative way.
And Richard, as a curator, it's amazing. Here in Southern California, we have so many incredible exhibits that are constantly going on, art galleries, different photography. And for you to come up with this concept, to be able to take such a rough moment in time, and just a horrible, exhibit of what should never be, and to be able to focus on the key point about the mother, because we just come on the heels of International Women's Day. It's a great point to let the ladies know how much and how important their role is in the fabric of family, community,
Yes.
and everything like that. And to be able to be creative like that is something that's really, really amazing. If you
Yes.
can, talk about a little bit about, you know, your current work, and how did you get there? You're an educator. Please speak on that.
Sure. I began as a visual artist.
Mhm.
Loved to draw and paint a lot. And I had a mentor when I was going to the community college. She had told me, you know what, you are an amazing artist, but when you don't sell any work, how are you going to pay your bills? And then, so she challenged me to explore other areas of strength that I had, which happened to be public speaking and also writing. And I explored those, and that ended up leading me to be able to not just continue to make art, but to teach writing and
Right.
composition, public speaking, and to actually write art reviews and interview artists, to be invited to speak at different academic conferences on African American art history, and to even be the editor and author of the foreword to the 2020 book on an art movement called the Afro-Cobra art movement that emerged in Chicago. Afro-Cobra stands for the African Commune of Bad Relevant Artists, a very important movement. A lot of people associate the Black Arts Movement with New York. Well, the Chicago Afro-Cobra Artist Collective, they put a visual face to the Black Arts Movement. And so writing the forward to that And then also, being a recipient of the Andy Warhol Art Writers Foundation grant, where they actually are funding my writing, where I'm writing about art, but on a totally different level, where
Mm.
now um, folk in New York will see my writing, and they will also see my perspective on the
Mm.
arts, and to also be hired to give workshops to
Mhm.
artists on how to write about art, how to market their work, how to give artist talks. So all of this is converging.
Mhm.
And there's an old saying: you can only keep what you give away.
That's right.
And I'm only giving back what so many instructors have invested in me,
Wow.
which
That's
is
beautiful.
thank you, thank you.
I have to tell you, there that's one of the things you hear the term starving artist, but
Mhm.
you are actually giving an opportunity for artists to be able to find that pathway to be able to take their art and move it. And there's so many incredible things now. A lot of people's art are ending up on apparel. They're starting clothing lines. They're starting so many other different things that can spin off and be able to move their art into a framework where there is financial return and recognition, and
Yes,
especially what's going on in Chicago, what's going on in, New York, Miami, LA, in all communities, because art lovers are from all around the world. I work with a colleague. Her name is, oh Lord, um, goodness gracious, Catherine Bachnight. And so she just recently, last year, she had won an award for her photo exhibit in Burbank. And one of the things was she was actually a photojournalist and was at Tiananmen Square when the
hmm
big uprising happened. So she had these prolific photos, and she showed me pictures, and just to be able to hang out with her and talk to her, and these are pictures, and she was like, "Oh, yeah, this is when I was at Stonehenge, and now
Mhm.
Stonehenge, you can't even get near." And so she's out here leaning on them and sitting on them, and it was crazy that she was that close to that type of history. But now, as the world kinda evolves, it's exhibits like yours that tell a story and inspire people, really wake people up, and so, you know, it's incredible, and again, till we have justice, that's gonna be taking place. Again, that is gonna be at a location. Let me pop this up on the screen. It's gonna be at the Loft at Liz's, and that's gonna be located upstairs above Liz's Antique Hardware, 453 South La Brea, Los Angeles, California, and that is gonna be between the hours of 10 AM to 6 PM. Hopefully, we're gonna get some local people here to be able to go and check that out, and so this is an amazing, exhibit. I've recently uh, came in contact with a gallery that we were just talking about the other day, and
yes,
Richard has some other great creative ideas, and they're people that I know from Riverside, from the African American Museum down there, in different places. And
yes.
I also have another colleague. She was actually the executive director of the UCLA Art Gallery,
Mhm.
and fantastic lady, loves art, has been, a lightning rod in that community, and so there's some relationships that I'm gonna share with you about, hopefully, future galleries. I was just all the time I'm looking at how can we curate and do more things for the artists out there, because you got the visual arts and now there's digital, and
Yes,
you see these incredible, um, displays. I was recently at a nightclub actually, but it was kind of like a art exhibit and fashion, but
mhm,
they had a mashup between music and art and, you know, and clothing and apparel and everything. It was all kind of put together, and it was pretty incredible, I have to say, to be able to see that. And Richard, these are things you had said that you are and have an experience at one of the most prolific art schools, the Art Center. How are you tied to Art Center again?
Well, as a former student, I was a recipient of the Art Center Minority Scholarship, where I applied for
Mm.
it. I
Mhm.
applied for it once, didn't get it. Met
Right,
with the
right.
director, said, "How can I do better?" I practiced what I was encouraged. I applied, got it, and it actually was the catalyst for me taking more classes here
Mhm.
at our art center, and after several years, I connected with a one of the persons who worked here,
Mhm.
wonderful African American woman, and she connected me with the dean, and I had three
Wow.
interviews, and I was
Wow.
brought on board to teach at a school that I went to
Mhm.
teach writers, to teach artists how to write.
Mhm.
Amazing, talented designers and animators. And you know what I
Wow.
love is to
Mhm.
teach creative folks those soft skills, those soft
Wow.
Mhm.
skills,
Mhm.
writing, speaking, skills that will like help you to get along with people, to be a
Mhm.
good team player, a good
Mhm.
leader, a good collaborator. All that right there is what I really enjoy doing, because that has
Mhm.
made the difference in my career as an artist.
Mhm.
Mhm.
I have some art on display. It was chosen to be on display at the
Mhm.
Ontario airport because I'm a big jazz fan, so I
Wow.
really enjoy listening to live jazz. I can credit my father and my stepdad,
Mm.
who I call my second father. They were just jazz fans, and so
Mhm.
as a kid growing up, you can't change the radio station, in the car. You have to
That's
just
right.
listen to it. So I just learned to love jazz. Yeah, and so that's a
Mhm.
really honor to be
Mhm.
chosen by the Chafee Museum to have my art on
Ooh,
display at the Ontario Airport.
Mhm.
that's beautiful. I have to give a big shout out to Nina knows one of my colleagues. His name is Bill Montgomery from the Hidden Pioneers. One of
Mhm.
our hidden pioneers is a gentleman by the name of Garth Newberry. Garth
Yes.
Newberry was the first African American to graduate from Art Center in the
Okay.
automotive design division. So,
Yes.
big shout out to Garth. He told stories that literally he was the only person of
That's
color
great.
there at the time, and the things that happened in the world. People, a lot of times, people don't realize how um, daunting, on top of trying to accomplish just your day to day tasks, but to have to
Yes.
overcome the other rigmarole that's in the background that's running in the shadows. It's heavy, and but
Yes.
Mhm.
to hear the victory is
Mhm.
amazing. And I know, yes, oh my goodness, yes, yes, yes. Hello, everybody. That's Mika.
All
Mika
right.
wants to say hello. Yes, no
Yeah.
kisses are
Yeah.
necessary. Thank you,
Yeah.
Mika. Okay, thank you,
Yeah.
Mika. She always has to do that. Nina knows she pops in
Yeah.
like that.
Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah,
You
we're
know,
we're excited. Go ahead, go ahead, Nina.
Ronnie, I want to just, since it's Women's History Month, I want to just credit my mom because
Oh,
she's always been an amazing writer, and that's where I got it from. My
your
mom.
Mhm.
mom?
Mhm.
My mom, yeah, yeah. My stepdad, second dad, and amazing artist. He encouraged me to always draw and paint and everything.
Mhm.
And I'm just, and I also want to thank the LA-based magazine, Artillery Magazine, for the
Mm.
opportunity to write for them for over 8 years, writing art reviews, interviewing
Ooh.
artists. So it's just been,
Mhm.
layers and layers of building and foundation building where opportunity opens up more doors. And I couldn't have done
Mhm.
this by myself. I just
Yeah.
I couldn't have. Yeah, and I'm also grateful to be teaching art writing at Cal State
Mhm.
Fullerton, and
Mhm.
also
Man.
having taught art writing at Cal State San Bernardino. So I'm just
Mhm.
giving back what was given to me.
So
Wow.
I'm intrigued, Richard. Um,
Yeah.
it's not very often, and it's only just recently, actually, that I've heard the term art writer. So tell our viewers, what does an art writer write? Is it
Well, art
very
writing.
varied, or is it just art reviews, or what are we talking
Well,
about here?
the art writer will describe art, analyze it in a way that makes it accessible to the viewing audience. So, an art writer will actually put the artwork in a historical context, so they see how important it is. An
Mm,
art writer will talk about the life of the artist, how the artist made the work, the physical qualities of the work, how the work
mm,
speaks to the past, present, and the
Mhm.
future on so many layers, whether it's psychological, political, or social. The art writer makes the work accessible using sentences and
mhm,
Mhm.
words.
mhm,
Wow. I have to say, a lot of times people, when you talk about artists, they say, oh, they're aloof or they're out in their own world. But how you are taking them and giving them those soft skills to being able to present, sometimes how they present their art to a potential gallery or to a potential investor is key, because sometimes it's hard to get inside the mind of an artist to be
Yes,
able to understand what their interpretation is of whatever the subject matter may be. And for you to help them to be able to articulate that is gold. I mean, it is
mhm.
literally gold.
yes,
And give it context. I'm thinking right now of there are several YouTube channels
Mhm.
where there are people who take works of art and put it up on the screen and then give us all the context for it. Here's who
Mhm.
painted it. Here's at what point in their life they painted it. Here's what was going on in the world when they painted this.
sure,
Here's what these things in the painting mean.
yes,
Mhm.
And
yes,
they have, those YouTubers have a huge following. And
yes.
I know I find it fascinating myself to sit and listen to
Mhm.
those, because it does mean that when you look at that art, suddenly you're seeing it in a different way. You're appreciating it in a way that
Mhm.
you weren't able to before.
Yes, yes, yeah.
Yeah.
Just it is so. I view
Mhm.
when I put words on paper, I view it like I'm pop locking on paper. I'm
Right.
dancing on the paper with my words. That's how I look at it. Like
Wow.
I'm doing moonwalk. Like
Wow.
I'm doing all those dances that I grew up with, but I'm
Yep.
using words on paper.
Wow.
Mhm.
Now I have
Mhm.
a question. Okay. Um, I've got a colleague and she was, or actually her and her husband, I believe it's her husband, he was intricate in the beginning of cryptocurrency. And I mean, he was at the forefront of this whole thing. She calls herself Crypto Queen. She is, I mean, bad girl when it comes down to some cryptocurrency, and knowledge of that thing. But one of the questions is, what is your take on NFTs in art and how that has helped the art galleries and the artists? What do you think about NFT work?
Well, I haven't used a lot of NFTs in my as far as applying it, but I
Mhm.
do know this that art is not just made for the
Mhm.
artists, but it's made for other
Mhm.
folk too. And
Wow.
people ascribe value to it. Uh, they
Mhm.
will purchase it. They will wear it, and so
Mhm.
uh, I believe that the world will always need artists
Mhm.
to really be, because what we wear, what we drive, what we
Oh,
watch
yeah.
came
Mhm.
out of the mind of an artist.
Yes, that
Yes,
is exactly true.
yes,
Another hidden pioneer is our dear Emmeline King. Emmeline King, she actually was the first African-American female to be hired by the Ford Motor Company.
Okay.
And her abilities. And so what she wants to do is to educate young people, especially the young girls, to believe that in a quote unquote man's world of automotive design, young ladies have an opportunity of all
Right.
nationalities, all race. But she's like, come on, girls, you could do this. I did this.
Yes.
And to
Yes.
be able to see that, it's incredible.
Yes.
Mhm.
Yeah. Well, I want to thank you all for having me on your show, and
Yeah.
I'm going to have to uh, uh, gracefully exit because I need
Yes,
to
yes.
teach some artists how to write.
That's okay. Well, brother, I appreciate you, Mr. Richard Mays, again, dear brother from Mission Church. Everybody, make sure if you ain't got nowhere to go to church on Sunday, make sure you pop on into Mission Church right there in Santa Clarita. That's a shameless
Yes,
plug for Pastor
definitely.
Ron. God bless you. He did a
Yeah,
great sermon, yesterday. I was there,
yeah,
happy to be in
yeah.
church. But
Oh, yeah.
Richard, thank you for being on with us.
Oh,
I really
yes.
mean it. And we're going to have you back again. There's going to be part 2. Me and you
Please.
we're joined at the
Definitely.
hip, brother. We can get some
Definitely.
stuff happening
Definitely.
and
And the
have a
art
blessed.
show, ends on April 11th. It's the closing reception, 2 to 4 p.m., April 11th. But the artist talk is going to be this coming Saturday, March 14th from 2 to 4 p.m. I will be there with
All right.
several of the artists. So please come down and join us for the artist talk this Saturday, March 14th at Lafayette
Yeah.
List Gallery. Thank
It's
you,
going to be
everybody.
great.
Appreciate
Thank
it.
you for
Okay.
being on with us.
Thank you,
And have
Richard. Thank you for
a
coming.
great rest of the day.
Okay, Nina. Thank you. All right.
Nice
All
to
right.
meet you.
You too.
Wow. What do you think about that? Well, I mean, that's an awesome thing. And Nina, do me a favor. You could just log out. You could just drop out, Richard, and just hit
Whoops.
and running. I'm
there we
here.
go. He found,
Yeah.
he finally figured his way out.
Nina,
So
do
I
me a
was trying
favor.
to remove him from the stage to help him out there a little bit.
Nina, read that for me if you can.
Sure.
Can you see that?
Yes, yes. Till we have justice, honoring the memory of Emmett Till and celebrating the courage of his mother, Mamie Till Mobley, January 24th to April 11th, 2026. Opening during Black History Month and extending into Women's History Month, this powerful exhibition brings together distinguished artists to explore one of the most pivotal movements in American civil rights history. The exhibition honors both the memory of Emmett Till and the extraordinary courage of his mother, Mamie Till Mobley, whose decision to insist on an open casket funeral forced America to confront the brutal reality of racial violence. By showing the world what had been done to her son, Till Mobley transformed personal tragedy into a catalyst for the civil rights movement. Curated by Richard Allen May III, this exhibition presents diverse artistic perspectives across multiple media. Through their work, these artists explore how Emmett Till's story continues to resonate in our collective consciousness and our ongoing struggle for justice, bringing African American identity, history, and spirituality to this profoundly important exhibition. Curated by Richard Allen May III.
Yes. Yeah. Dear guy, I mean, incredible. I mean, person that, like I said, and there was a big thank you. Thank you came in to Richard Allen. Yes, for sure. And it's incredible because, all of these things, these are just like teaching moments. I mean, at this point, it has to be a teaching moment because, and the only way that we can learn from these things is to understand the full painful bolt of information, literally, and so that people can understand that we cannot ever repeat something like this again. And I mean, we got so much stuff going on right now in the world, and so And Nina, it's important that we continue to fight and to lock arms together and with the love of Christ, of course, because we're all brothers and sisters, and so we have to uh, put these terrible injustices to rest. But I'm excited, and again, everybody, you're watching the chat session on the This Way Network, and we were just fortunate enough just to have a dear friend with us, his curator Richard May the third, and he is a curator and again has an amazing art exhibit and just an incredible group of people. Again, I do want to shout out the people who he had mentioned. These are some of the featured artists that are gonna have their art on display. Mr. Cedric Adams, Chango, Charles Dickerson, Dale Bachman Davis, Deborah McDuff Williams, Dr. Patricia Woodland, June Edmonds, Marcus Gilroy, Michael Massenberg, Ramesses, and Sharon Barnes. So all of these are great artists that will be featured in Till We Have Justice. Again, there's going to be artist roundtable that he was mentioning that's coming up. You don't want to miss that. And just come see this incredible art display and hear from the artists themselves. Again, one more time. That's going to take place at the Loft at Liz's, and that's located upstairs of Liz's Antique Hardware Store, 453 South La Brea Avenue, Los Angeles, California, 90036. And that thing's going to be going on this incredible time, and it's going to be going on Monday through Saturday, 10 a.m. to 6. They're open there. So make sure you stop by, make sure you support art and the wonderful artists that help make this incredible exhibit go. That's what we want to do. And so excited about this. And so, Nina, what else is going on? Anything else good going on?
Well, you actually told me something in an email that I'm wondering if you, I don't know if you're ready to say anything about it yet, but I thought maybe you might want to.
Well, yeah. Well, actually, I actually have an incredible opportunity to become a radio morning show host at a radio station here in Southern California. I was blessed with this opportunity. I had a meeting over the weekend, and there's a radio station, believe it or not. And they are a bilingual radio station. They're out in Garden Grove, California, and met with the owner, and he says, listen, I worked with him in the past. I was doing some reporter work for him, and so I did the kind of like the news report. So I did local, I did world news, national news, and news in California, and also community news. All of it was kind of rolled into one, and they liked my work, and they thought that they would want me to come on and be their morning show DJ. So I will be actually on 90.3 FM Radio Suerte Monday through Saturday, 6 a.m. to 10 a.m. So I'm hoping, and I'm really hoping that I got to talk to you and Michael, and we got to try to see if there's a way for me to be able to, maybe the chat session may move to a different time. But I do understand we have planted our flag here at this time. And so I may be, I may be stepping aside. You may be seeing another great host, which I'm sure Nina may. I know, Nina, you could do this show with your hands tied behind your back because you're so good at it. So
sure,
but that's what it's all about. It's about progress and things in the chat session, as we've been around for a couple years now, and the This Way Network is growing in viewership, and Michael has done such a wonderful job having the ongoing shows nonstop of, really challenging the news that's out here abuzz and bringing the truth and the gospel through his wonderful podcast network and really doing all the great things that he's doing. I'm pretty excited, because you never know how these things can turn out, and we just move forward, and we put ourselves in, right out here in the opportunity zone. So it's really neat. And matter of fact, I'm trying to find my little promo. I hate to do a shameless plug, but I will actually
do the plug.
Oh, you want to see the okay?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, but see, at least I want to know where people know where I'm at. But I'm never going to be far away because I'm always going to be cheering. I'm trying to figure out. I will always carry the chat session and the This Way Network flag in my back pocket wherever I go. And again, I'm honored, and I really have matter of fact, I spoke with my pastor again from Mission Church. And I believe that they do stream our services again. And a matter of fact, I'll put it in the chat. If you ever want to learn more about my wonderful church and my pastor, I'm going to put it in here. It's going to be Mission Church, and it is missionchurch.us. Please make sure that you go and, have an opportunity. You definitely need to check it out. And Pastor Ron, my pastor, he is a third generation pastor. His granddaddy was a pastor. His father was a pastor. He is a pastor, and his sons come up and pastor. So it's like 4 generations. And I mean, it's a beautiful thing to be able to see them, such a loving family. They love the Lord, and they're out there doing the Lord's work. And actually, hey, everybody, here's a little promo I'm going to share with you. And this is coming up. This is a little bit about what's to come. Please pray for me because this is supposed to be taking place next Monday. So this is supposed to be the big kickoff. So hold on tight. Hello, I'm Rodney Allen Rippey, and on Monday, March 16th, 2026, I'm going to be your new morning show DJ, 6 days a week, Monday through Saturday, from 6 a.m. to 10 a.m., right here on 90.3 FM Radio Suerte. I'm going to play your favorite hits and more, so set your alarm clock, tell all your friends, it is getting ready to happen. It's going down right here on 90.3 FM, and together, we're going to start the day off right.
Hey. Well, that sounds great. I wish I could get that out here in Alabama.
You can, believe it or not. You know what?
Really?
We stream live. That's right. You can go to radiosuerte.com, and when I turn on the switch, boy, you can listen all around the world. So I'm going to try to have listeners, and I'm just thankful for this opportunity. I really want to make this thing great, and not only just have the show, but the show, I want to be able to reach out to people in the community, businesses, opportunities. There are things always going on in Southern California. So I'm looking to be able to be fully press credentialed. And so when our good old president comes into town, I'll be right there. Ha! Listen, Radio Suerte. So you never know. You might hear me get a question into the prayers. And so that'll be fun. So but yeah, my plans to be fully credentialed. Yeah.
Yeah. I want to first congratulate you.
Well, thank you.
On that job. And I just want to say, I don't think they could have made a better choice. I think they knew a good thing when they saw it. I have long thought, Rodney, that you have a radio voice.
Oh, well,
yes, you do.
I appreciate that. I appreciate that.
I mean, it's a wonderful thing that you have the looks to go along with it, but people don't see that on the radio. But you've got that voice as well. Your voice is comforting and encouraging and cheerful all at the same time. And you're a pro. You are a consummate pro.
Well, I appreciate that. I really do appreciate that. And, you know, it's like being around people like you. Let me tell you something. Nina, you are sharp too. I don't mean to just, I'll take the praise. Thank you very much. But I've got a lot to give back to you because you're very dynamic and very personal. I think you'd be a great actress too. I think you really have. No, honestly, I think you really have what it takes to be an actress. You really do, because you're dramatic and you're real and you're personable. People can identify with you. That's true. I mean, honestly, I really think that you could. I really think that you could do that. And we just take these gifts that the Lord gives us, and we try to use them in the right way. They're not crowbars to break into things and to do crazy stuff with. We have the opportunity to, I mean, again, you have a coolness about you that, and again, that helps us to witness, that helps us to talk about things that we know, and we've all been through the ringer at some point. And so we can tell our stories. We can tell people, you know what? Listen, there's a difference between sympathy and empathy. When you can sympathize when you've been through it, you can only, right. It's an empathy, sympathy and empathy. Yeah, you had to go through it to give sympathy. Right. And so an empathy,
I thought it was the other way around. I thought empathy was when you could, I think it is. I think empathy is where you've been there yourself, and so you can really put yourself in their shoes and understand, feel what they're feeling because you've been there before. Sympathy is, I think,
talk. Yeah, you're giving your opinion. Right, there we go.
Yeah, well, just to give a
concern.
Well, yeah, I was just thinking about what we had just been talking about with Emmett Till and his mom. I think that's why that was so impactful, is people who hadn't even lost a child could sympathize with what she was going through. They didn't know how it felt exactly, but they could get a sense of how it might feel if they had been going through the same thing, and have that kind of sympathy for her. And I think that's part of what really galvanized the civil rights movement.
Right.
That happened in August 1955, and I think it was December 1955 that the Birmingham bus boycott started. So, and I think by then there was so much sympathy across the nation because of what they had seen happen with Emmett Till, thanks to his mother making that so public.
Right. They really tried to stop that. They did not want her to have that opportunity. And no, she insisted on an open casket. And again, the empathy side came because there were droves of people who had lost children, loved ones, and they were like, I know what she's going through. So that even doubled down on the people who just had a heart that understood humanity were on the sympathy side. The people who had been through it in some shape or form were on the empathy side. So now she had this huge, so of course that kicked off the civil rights movement. Matter of fact, living in Greensboro, North Carolina, I had some very, very dear friends, and a wonderful lady. Her name was Pam, and she was like a community relations person for the International Civil Rights Center Museum in Greensboro, North Carolina. I have to dig them up. I have to get their link and put it in the thing. If you ever go to Greensboro, North Carolina, remember the Woolworths where the sit-in happened?
Yes.
And and the big fight broke out. Well, guess what? They have now turned this into a multi-million-dollar International Civil Rights Center Museum right there. So that old Woolworths was converted into the museum. And do you know the lunch counter that where it originally was is still there? And So it's like you step in there and you go back in
Back
time,
in time. Mhm.
and you can I mean, the old, you know, milkshake, machines
Mhm.
and all of the
Mhm.
stuff, everything is just like, and I was like, oh, when I went there, it's beautiful. It's really beautiful to see. Again, I'm gonna try to pull up that. I'll put it in the chat.
I
Yeah.
can't think of anything that is more satisfying to have
Mhm.
happen to that Woolworths counter than what it's
Right.
doing now, That's just such a
Mhm.
satisfying turn.
Yes, yes, yes. Matter of fact, and the matter of fact, I don't know how I forgot the website, but it's sitinmovement.org. Yeah, and
Mhm.
I'm telling you, um, I it's the most beautiful museum, classy, well run, and
Mm.
it was just amazing. I had the pleasure of getting a VIP tour through the thing, and when I went through this museum, it was something to see and to behold because there was so much history there. There you go. Sit in movement right there, .org. And
Mhm.
at the time, I was here in California and I was trying to work my way back to North Carolina, but I just didn't want to pop back into North Carolina and not have a job. So I went there with the eye and the heart to become a marketing person for them
Mhm.
in-house.
Mhm.
And there was there was some things that happened. I actually showed up and I took a tour. This is years ago. I don't even think the person's still there, but um, what happened was it was kind of a strange thing, but I do this tour, and what happened was I had a little notepad in my top pocket and a little pencil. And as I'm going through the tour, things that just jumped out at me, I'd pull my pad out and I'd write down something and I'd stick it back in my pocket. And I'd keep walking and walking. And then I would see something else and I'd write it down. And and the gentleman at the time, executive director, he was like, may I ask, what are you writing down? I said, well, just notes. And he said, well, why are you I mean, is there any reason why you're taking notes? And I just said, well, it was just for me personally. And the truth of the matter was I was just kind of identifying sponsors that could be, you know,
Mhm. Mhm.
that could give enormous amounts of money because
Mhm.
it was pretty serious what and they were, and actually it was kind of strange because the girl that had got me this wonderful tour was really kinda in my corner trying to push to get me to come home, come back to North Carolina, and
Mhm.
there was something that was said, and there was a little bit of kind of fear and trepidation because the person thought I might take his job as the executive director
Oh.
'cause the I yeah, and the ideas that I had were spot on, and it was like, "Oh, that I don't know if we need him around." And she was like, "What are you talking about? He's great. Did you not hear all those ideas?" And he was like, "Ah, no, he might take my job." And it was kinda
Oh.
like so needless to say, that didn't work out so well. I guess sometimes you can't be too wise on sharing great ideas, but needless to say, still an
But,
incredible
Rodney, I have
museum.
to say that's part of what makes you such a pro at who you are and what you do just across the board, because everything that you're a part of, I've noticed that
Mm,
you're always thinking about other people, other organizations, et cetera, that you can connect with whoever
right,
you're in front of to help
right, right.
promote and, progress, what they're doing.
Mhm,
So, which is such a wonderful
right,
thing that you've got this mind for that. It's amazing to watch you at
right.
work.
Well, you know what? Because I went to college, I got my degree in marketing and advertising, and
Mhm.
so
Mhm.
everything around us is I mean, I've worked at major news organizations, I've worked in sales of advertising, And so when you learn these type of things, they just stick with you. And so my whole thing is there are so many opportunities for businesses like this wonderful this wonderful podcast that we've had and with the This Way Network, because when you're doing a task, there's always opportunities because people want to know hey, I was part of that. So the advertising and stuff, and you just have to find people who are willing to take that step and to budget in their line item. And a lot of things that's kind of sad. A lot of businesses struggle because they don't advertise. They're like, I just don't have enough money to advertise. I'm so close. Listen, whether you have to have a donut sale on the weekends, if you're a donut shop, you have to find a way. There's thousands of donut shops. How do you differentiate your donut shop from the next one? That's how you want to stand out. And I don't care if it is you get kids on a bike with a heater box to deliver hot donuts to people's houses.
Ooh.
Yeah, hey, like that.
Those are great.
Believe it or not, Nina, when I lived in Long Beach, California, as a kid, there was a man who would come down the street in a I bet you that thing was a 1967 Chevrolet truck. And in the back, he built this thing that was like a warmer. And this guy would come down the street real slow and just go bump, 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 bump. And he would honk the horn. And everybody, they would look at who's honking. It's the donut man. And people would run like, stop,
almost like the ice cream truck, only with something warm and wonderful.
And he had a drawer and he would pull out, Nina, he had hot donuts in that thing. I mean, hot donuts, had hot cake. And people would just be digging in their pockets and I'd be screaming, Daddy, Daddy, donut man, Daddy. I mean, you'd hear kids screaming. I mean, it was crazy. And the ice cream man would come. Sometimes the ice cream man and the donut man would be following each other. Oh, it would be over. I mean, it was incredible. I just remember those little things. And there was another guy that had the hot peanut truck. This guy would come down the street and he had some kind of warmer and had salted hot peanuts. And my dad loved him. If the peanut man came, my dad was like, oh man, there go the peanut man. And dad would bolt out the door. And the guy, he would come halfway part of the block and just stop in the middle of the street and honk the horn. Bump, bump. And he'd honk. He wouldn't lay on the horn, just bump, 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 bump. And boy, people would look out the window and he'd move a little bit further. Man, daddy would bolt out there and he'd get a whole paper bag of hot salted peanuts. Daddy loved that guy. And the guy would just come through once in a while. But this was prior to the whole food truck craze and all that.
Right.
It was just, anyway, but Nina.
Oh, that sounds tremendous.
I really appreciate, I've always have loved being on with you and stuff like that. And I really hope I hope we can find a way to be able to, for me to be able, and maybe I'll just be a pop-in correspondent in the future. Come here, Mika. And I'll be hopefully coming in. Oh, come on, you little ham, you. And so, hello, how are you?
Oh, what is Mika wearing?
Mika is she's wearing her hoodie, because when I take her out, sometimes she gets cold. And so she actually has a hoodie on. Yep, she has a little hoodie.
So what are the temps in Southern California right now?
I tell you what, we haven't, it's still kind of, it gets cold. I mean, in the morning, it's a little nippy. Later in the day, it starts to warm up. But it's a good thing.
It's in the 50s in the morning here, but today the high is supposed to be 73, so it's going to be
good
wonderful.
weather. Good weather.
Yeah,
I hope you have
great
clear weather. Yeah, well, everybody, again, you're watching the chat session here on the This Way Network. Again, make sure that you go and support. Again, we had with us Mr. Richard May. He was a curator, got an incredible art display coming up. Make sure if you can, everybody get down there, check out Till We Have Justice. Again, one last plug at the loft at Liz, located upstairs at the Liz Antique Hardware. That's 453 South La Brea Avenue, Los Angeles, California, 90036. And go check out this wonderful art display. Again, it's going to be featuring the heart, or the backdrop of this is the life of Emmett Till and how his mother was a brave soul and kind of stood up to the tyranny and actually helped so many other people through pain, and it just shows the power of moms and the relentlessness of moms and their love for their children. So
Right.
that's what it's all about. Yeah, right, Miko? Yeah. Ain't that right, Miko? Yep. Okay. What do you think? Ready to go?
Look.
Oh, yeah, I know. You want to go for a walk? You want to go for a walk? You do?
I think you said the magic words.
The walk. Yes, the walk. Well, everybody, again, you've been watching the chat session here on the This Way Network. God bless you. And I really want you to have a great, empowered week. And Nina, close us out.
Thank you for being with us, everyone. Happy Monday to you, and have a great week. Yeah. And don't forget, God is with us. So be of good courage, because we aren't alone. Bye, everybody. Right.
Take care. God bless. And keep watching the This Way Network, the chat session right here every Monday at 8:30 a.m. God bless and have a great
10:30
week.
Central Time.
That's right. 10:30 Central. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.